Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another game review brought to you by the Dace Show. It is I, Gibby, reviewing Subsiege, brought to you by Iceberg Studio and Azire Interactive, published by Heads Up Games. This is an early access game on Steam that you can now buy for $29.99. This game is a RTS with some feelings of a MOBA, I would say. The characters you can have as little. You have basically have 6 units, which sort of play like heroes with abilities. So it kind of has like a MOBA aspect, because you only can have 6 at a time, but it has RTS because it's basically top down like most normal RTSs, but it's not really fixated, this game, on mining and trying to build an actual base, whereas this game's actually more focused on fighting like MOBAs are. But alas, this is the game. Let's go into the settings real quick. So we have general, which is basically just your basic language. Your video settings, borderless, VSync, etc. Graphics, which I have mine on custom right now. I had to turn everything down on low, unfortunately, because for some reason I guess XSplit is not cooperating when I get into a game on this. Normally I play everything on Epic, but as you see, even on the low settings, I am still going to have a very drastic drop in FPS. Normally I can get this game to run around 50-55 FPS, but for some reason it drops down when I'm running the Gamecaster. But I'm not sure if that's a bug with the game or what exactly, but it is there. So then we have the sound card, the sounds. I turned my sound down slightly, all ambient sounds. Controls, so you can completely remap everything. There's nothing that in this game that you can't actually remap, which is always good. I did find it interesting that they have so many ability buttons. Not a single unit currently has 8 abilities, but I guess they left it there just in case if they wanted to go up to that far. It has a TeamSpeak, because this game is very much designed to be a team-based game. Then you have credits and help, which will take me to another screen, so I will not be pushing that. So this game is very much based upon PvP. So as you can see, Subsiege is mainly about this league. I had the pleasure to actually interview the game creators, and we actually talked in depth about this league and how they plan on it to be interactive. I can actually go to the rules so you can actually read. So basically there seems to be just one map at the moment. So you would have clans or a group of friends, and you guys would partner up, and then you would go out into the world. It looks like basically how it plays out is you're trying to dominate the world, just like you try and dominate the world in Risk. The map is actually the map of the world, and then it's basically sort of, I don't know if it's really considered turn-based, but you basically would schedule battle times in order to battle to win said territories. Currently, which you can set up to play somebody, and then if they don't confirm or show up at the requested time within, I think he said 5 minutes roughly, the round automatically goes to whoever is attacking. I kind of see some issues with that, and they kind of also see some issues with that, but that's currently how it's built at this moment. I'm sure this will probably change later as the game gets more into development. The game's probably around 65 to 70%, I guess, built according to the game designers. So here are the units. So as you can see, all the units have certain abilities, and some of them match up well with others. You can actually click through these if you like to actually see all of their abilities and what they do. Some of them, like this one, is just really just a basic armor upgrade. This one is a healing pulse. I actually like this guy a lot. And then you have other things. Power leech, I believe, is taking energy from them or taking HP over time. So you can actually look through here. There is regular play. You can do a 1v1 currently on this one map right here, which I will be playing in the tutorial. Unfortunately, the game does not have a large player base at the moment, so if you're not playing in specific times, it does seem to be impossible, unfortunately, to get games. But the game is still in, like I said, early access, so I'm sure once the game is fully flushed out and made complete, that more people will be playing and it won't be as hard to find games. But as it is right now, it is not, it is a little painstaking. And then you have custom games, which I'm not really sure what a custom game is because it doesn't, says it's coming soon, unfortunately. But I assume it's going to probably be sort of like this, but maybe you can put your own custom rule sets in. But we will see. I'm actually going to play the tutorial right now. I'm going to play the training ground, which is basically just a skirmish versus 3 opponents. They don't actually attack you. They just kind of swim around as you build up and then try and kill them. So like I said, this game's in early access. It's got an RTS feel as well as a MOBA type feel. So before I actually click OK, I'm going to just point out some of the things that are on the map. So this is your actual currently your mini map. So all of these little yellow things are crystals. So that's really what your basically your money or your dollars, I guess you would say. So that is what you need in order to actually get a lot of your basic units. Then these squares right here, here, and here are considered refineries. So that's this green gas right here. That's used mainly for more higher tech units, as well as upgrading your units. So none of your units actually start out with their abilities. Unfortunately, I kind of think that might be problematic in my opinion, but as it stands right now, you don't actually get any of your abilities, you have to unlock them. And then if your unit dies, which is also another interesting thing, you actually have to then recreate a new unit if you want it again, and you have to re-unlock through gas that particular ability. The game, to force combat, is actually really reliant right here. So this took me a while to get used to. So you have an oxygen level. So basically I have 7 minutes until I run out of oxygen and automatically die. So it really forces you to engage in combat. And the reason for that is because every time you kill something, whether it be these red little fish things right here, which are neutral creeps, or if I reverse them in direct combat, no matter what, they drop oxygen canisters, and that oxygen canister is really what you need in order to stay alive. And then in this big circular thing right here is your base, so you can actually upgrade your base, but your base also can't die. So you basically move a unit inside this circle, and then it unlocks this upgrade, I guess. I'm not really sure exactly how to call it, but this is basically where you will click on a unit and create it. And once it's created, then it spawns automatically. There's no like build time or anything. It just automatically shows up, and then it's your unit to actually start using. So you actually can keep playing. The only way you die is by running out of oxygen, or if you lost all of your ships. So I can see just fighting with 5 at some points in times and always keeping 1 back in order not to lose the match. It will probably become problematic with oxygen, because if you lose a battle, you're probably not collecting the oxygen canisters. So you will probably be very far behind, unfortunately. But that is currently how this game is played. So I will immediately begin to build some units. And then I will select these and move out. And as you can see, I'm running at around 15 to 17 FPS, which is kind of really crappy. But unfortunately, I'm not really sure how to fix it at the moment. But so there you go. I just collected a bunch of crystals. Now I'm going to go and collect this refinery. So the refinery is time sensitive. So what happens is your units will go to it. A beam will come out of them, which is basically them trying to capture this node. And as this builds up, you are slowly building up to capture. So once you capture it, you can walk away, and this thing will slowly generate gas over time. And then there's this extra bar up top, which I'm not exactly sure what that does, if it makes it come quicker or not, but I always max it out. Oh, I forgot about that. So yeah, so if you go across these moats, units actually, oh crap, units actually come out. And when that guy can actually just suck down your ships and instantly kill it, which is never a nice, never a nice time, unfortunately. And then that's pretty much all I need to do. I'll take this, and I'll come back out. So in order for me to win, I just have to kill everything and then go from there. So in most cases, you're going to be just trying to build up a large enough fleet, which is, once you max out at 6, all you really need, and then go from there. I'm going to actually engage this fleet, just so you can see an actual battle. Alright.
Okay.
Out of my way.
I'm almost there. Can't believe they're actually running away from me. So when I'm attacking, you can then select your units and do things. So watch, my unit die. Oh, I already actually collected the gas canister. So as you see, the 4 oxygen canisters actually dropped out from there. So you can just run up and collect them, and it will refill your meter down here. So I'll show you, 50, 50, 50. So I actually, as you see, got several oxygen added in. And then you need to keep this up the entire time in order to actually win. I actually think I lost, because I don't think this guy's quick enough to get away. Yes, I did lose.
You got destroyed by the enemy.
Fun times, guys.
This means losing the match, but for the tutorial you will be revived.
So for the tutorial, it's actually going to respawn me. I can actually rebuild some units. So I'll build these 3. So that is pretty much how this game plays. There are several issues with it, I won't lie to you guys. A lot of it really stems from the fact that the game is extremely fast-paced. Because of how fast-paced the game is, you really can't get your units leveled up as easily as I think the game creators really intend you to. Mainly because you're kind of forced very early on in order to actually engage your opponent, and because of this oxygen level being so low and very difficult to actually keep up, it does cause an issue, especially since these neutral creeps don't necessarily give you a ton of oxygen. I mean, they do give you some. You can usually keep your oxygen meter roughly even, not necessarily overfilled. I would say. And then the issue is if you constantly go around like this, you're going to constantly be taking damage. And the more damage you take, obviously, the harder it becomes for you to actually engage in battles. And then the other issue I have is the fact that this gas thing, you basically need to keep it at all times in order to actually upgrade your units. I do feel like some of the units probably should, or at least the upgrades, because of how fast the game is, should have this gas amount lowered in order to upgrade and do things like that. Like, I'll take my units over there and show you. So, in order for you to get it up, of course I keep losing units left and right, I don't know how. But in order for me to upgrade my units, I need to move it back into the center of this base, and then it unlocks basically whatever I wish to do. You can only get, in most cases, I think, one of them. I don't know how, even though I got both of them, but I don't know how to actually switch over. Unfortunately, unless, let me see, Q. No W. So it does give you abilities just like that, like in most MOBAs. And like I said, you just really want to kill your opponents. The X's also are another issue, I feel like. Now, I don't know if that's just because I'm in the tutorial or not, but if it's actually in the game, I would have an issue with it, because if you're actually allowing your opponents to see where you are at all times,
We are losing control over
and if you can counter them by, like, looking at them, like, I can look at this and actually see the units due to the sonar, I feel like there would be issues. But unfortunately, I haven't actually been able to get into an actual game. So I don't really know if this is just because this is a tutorial or not. But that is my 2 cents on this. So if you guys would like, you guys can easily get this game. Like I said, it's on Steam for $29.99 early access. Do be warned, like I said, it is a little difficult to get games. I have a feeling you probably, if you join into League, it'd probably be a lot easier to get games because you're really scheduling them. And as long as you're okay with just scheduling them and probably not playing constantly, it would be probably a pretty good buy, especially if you like a game sort of like Risk. If you guys would like, I'm going to post our interview in the game description below. You can give us a like and a subscribe. It would help us very much. And I would wish you all to have a good time playing your games. And as always, have a nice night.